In this episode of CrusaderCast, we're going to be looking at the first of the 4 starting areas in ArcheAge. This is the Hariharan, and please correct me if I'm mispronouncing that in the comments, area of the game. You definitely notice right off the bat it has a Middle Eastern desert sort of feel. That's why I wanted to show this one first, because it's way different from the rest of the game. That's pretty much just regular fantasy based. It's interesting to note, as you'll see here, that all characters start out with one melee weapon depending on their class, and every character starts out with a bow and arrow. So it's cool that no class is limited to melee combat. And from what I've heard, I never played Ultima online back in the day, but my friends that have told me that this game is kind of inspired by that especially the sandbox feel of it, and the fact that all the classes are similar in that you kind of just combine skills. The Hariharans are very Eastern fantasy theme compared to the more Western fantasy theme that the humans embody. They're called Nuians in the game, I believe, and they also happen to preside over ArcheAge's eastern continent, the Hariharan. So that's kind of a cool thing the developers added in there. And you'll see this first area is sort of clearing bugs from the desert. So it's not anything revolutionary. I mean, you see these sorts of things in WoW. The game is beautiful, though. It's cool to note, as you see in the background, that they've really mastered, Guild Wars 2 has mastered this too, the sort of, from a perspective of a far-off mountain, how that looks to the naked eye way off, how it kind of changes as you get close to it. And that little guy down there, is actually my mount. Or should I say my future mount. I have to go through about a 5 or 6 minute growing period where I raise him. First thing I do is I give him an apple, as you see right here. Yep. I feed him an apple, and we're going to skip here to save time in the video, thank goodness. Yeah, he really likes the apple. Next thing, a drink of water. As you can see, he's maturing, I suppose you could say. Becoming a full Dragonstone guy. Here's another drink. This is about 5 minutes in, by the way. I've been just kind of sitting here watching the timer go down. Now I have to give him a bath. Yep, giving him a bath. This is just so weird. And he really liked his bath. Okay, next thing here. I'm not making this up. You have to dance for your mount. Yep. I didn't do /dance. Nope. This is what you have to do with every race. And I'll show them in the other videos. You got to dance for your mount. And then look. There he is. Wow. And as bizarre as that is, and whatever that means to the Korean audience, I honestly have no idea. These are some of the coolest mount animations, some of the best mount animations I've ever seen in a game. And it's really cool. You can take away the user interface and shoot really cool video like I just did. And here, look at this. I mean, you really feel like you're on the back of a creature. You know, sometimes in games you get on a mount and you feel like you're kind of on a magic carpet or just something on wheels, you know, gliding across the ground. But I mean, look at this animation. It's really impressive. This is one of the more impressive parts of the game, is that you just feel like you're actually on something. And after a few quick purchases, you have an armored mount. It's pretty cool. You can buy headpieces, you can buy different armored saddles, and I don't know what those are down there. Shin guards? I don't know what Dragonstone mounts have. Do they have shins? I'm not sure. But if they do, they're shin guards. And so it kind of makes them look a little bit more, you know, spiky. I don't know. I will say about this race that they feel more combat based than especially the elves and even the other races. It's just more combat than it is cutscenes. And as you can see here, this is a really neat centaur design. And the farther you go in the game, obviously, the bigger and better and more detailed the enemies get. This is one of the first more impressively animated enemies, I would say, in this race's starting area. There's really good enemy design in the Hariharan area. I hope I'm saying that right. Please tell me if I'm not. It's kind of different than the other ones. It's more diverse. I guess it's a trade, because you don't ever really get out of the desert for the first 10 levels. You kind of get tired of all the brown colors, but the enemies really do change as far as what they look like. And here we get to see some more magic combat, because you know I picked that as my second class, and I have some cooler armor on too. And we also get to see one of the first sort of dynamic fights in this starting zone. Other starting zones have more dynamic fights, and when I say dynamic, I mean you can't just stand in front of the enemy and hit tab and 1 to attack. Here he has sort of a tornado attack, and it took me a couple times to figure out to get out of the way of it. You know, this isn't Blade or Soul or Terra or anything, but at least it's some sort of dynamic aspect to the combat here. So, this is cool though. I think it's actually kind of neat that I can kind of be a great sword wielder, you know, a two-handed sword wielder, and also throw fireballs. That's kind of a cool thing. You know, I'm not going to say it's the most unique thing I've ever seen in an MMO, but it is kind of a nice change. You know, you always feel like you're stuck in the same sort of classes. You know, if you're an assassin, you don't really feel like you can whip out a greatsword or whip out a club or something that's not assassin-like, you know, and you can do that in this game. And here I'll leave you with this scene. Check out this water effect on the screen. I just wanted to show what this looked like, all the lighting effects, really when it's run on Ultra. And this game has a day and night cycle, so the lighting's just perfect for this shot. So, if you like this video, please subscribe. Please comment if you want more ArcheAge. I'm going to be showing off all the other starting areas and some of the higher level sandbox content. So take it easy, guys.